the IPID says the recommendation is to initiate disciplinary proceedings as the SAPS members involved are, and then it lists 5 members of the SAPS and Hawks.
Yes, Commissioner.
And those are Major General Khan, Major General Kadwa, Brigadier Sekobela, Colonel Steyn, that's you, and Lieutenant Colonel Sebola.
Correct, Commissioner.
And this was based on an investigation at 2.3. The IPID investigator lists all of the statements and evidence relied on. You see that?
I see that, Commissioner.
So there's a list of about 42 statements, including some warning statements, and then other evidence, a radio control transcript that we were looking at, the SAP-13, forensic report, etc. So based on all of these interviews with these people, what the IPID report investigator determines is, if you look at page 79, the first paragraph. It says, evidence in our disposal revealed that indeed the complainant and 3 others were arrested on 9 July 2021 and were charged with dealing in drugs. As per the Boyson's case, that's the Ayrton case number. The police arrested their colleagues who made a huge drug bust. 2 generals, namely Major General Khan and Kadwa, attended the crime scene. However, they are unable to explain as to their role at the crime scene. General Kadwa indicated that he did not do anything at the crime scene, as he alleged that he remained in his car, and later he got a report that officers were arrested. And then it goes on and says, the drugs were taken to the lab, the K9 unit issue, and then the recommendations. This then is what led to Major Gerbers doing his investigation, right?
Correct, Commissioner.
Now, I accept that you can't really comment on the IPID investigation itself.
No, I can't, Commissioner.
But can you tell me whether General Kadwa did exercise any control over the scene when he was there, or whether he did just remain in his car? Is that a correct statement?
What I personally saw, that would be not in his car, he was standing next to his car when I arrived there.
And he, while the entire time that you were present, he didn't issue any instructions or exercise any oversight?
The only thing he asked me is, I must just remember to tender the initial report to him, the preliminary report to him as soon as possible. That's the only thing he told me to do while I was on the scene.
Okay. Then what happens is that the recommendation is made, and who is Major General Gerber then, who is tasked with?
Major General Gerber, I'm not sure where he is currently, but at that stage he was or still is the provincial head of the DPCI in Mpumalanga.
She then contacts you in the beginning of February?
In the beginning of February, she contacted me and informed me that they found the exhibits in the storeroom, but that the exhibits were no longer in the brick form, but in forensic plastic transparent bags with no markings on it, but the bags had tags on them, descripting the lab number as well as the case number. She further indicated that the consignment now only weighed 479.4 kilograms. And that
579.
579.40 kilograms, and hence that 136.46 kilograms was unaccounted for. On Wednesday, the 22nd of February of 2025, I attended a meeting with General Kadwa, Lieutenant Colonel Jacobs, and I think that Norkia and Morris was there, I'm not sure, with Brigadier Allen and some of her personnel. They could still not explain the 136.46 kilograms that was unaccounted for. And it was then that General Kadwa decided to phone the DPCI national head of anti-corruption, of the anti-corruption section, and requested an investigation into the matter. I'm not aware of the current status of this investigation.
Okay, let's just unpack that a little bit. So 136.4 kgs went missing.
Based on the original weight of 715.86 kilograms, it only weighed in now at 579.4 kilograms, so 136.46 kilograms was missing.
And she said they were no longer in brick form.
We actually viewed it. It was now just a powder in large see-through bags with tags on them.
Again, when it's sealed in the evidence bags, it's got that shrink wrapped, it's tightly wrapped with the plastic.
Correct.
Now that had been, so is the evidence of Brigadier Allen that it was now, that had been removed?
She informed us, if my memory serves me well, that wrapping, are we talking about the wrapping with the markings on it, logos on it? She indicated that started to deteriorate. And obviously, because of the fact that they had to remove some of this powder to actually analyze it, that wrapping then deteriorated further because they literally, if I understand it correctly, they tested every brick. So because they opened those bricks, it started to deteriorate, and they decided to remove the wrappings and just put it in other bags that they used then to put the evidence in after they've analyzed it.
Do they test all of it? Do they test the 715 kgs or just a sample of it?
Commissioner, they cannot test, if they test all 700, there's nothing left.
Yeah.
So it would be small samples out of each brick, in my understanding that they do test, Commissioner.
And here's my follow-up question. Is it not possible then that it is the sample that was used for testing that is missing?
Not 136 kilograms, Commissioner. That's not possible, sir.
So they cannot use 130 kilograms for testing?
No, Commissioner, definitely not. So it's literally grams or milligrams that they use to test, Commissioner.
So it's now in powder form, and 136 kgs are not accounted for. That's quite a lot to carry out of the storage room.
Indeed. It was quite upsetting to us at the time, yeah.
So you say that you attended the meeting. They couldn't explain anything further, right? But was this meeting at the FSL?
Correct, Commissioner.
And then did you go to inspect the exhibits and the storage space?
We indeed were allowed to accompany them, and they showed us the storage facility where the exhibits were kept in.
And what did you see there?
Lack of a better explanation, chaos. But I don't think in my humble opinion, like the lawyers say in court, my humble opinion is that at the end of the day, one should go and look for yourselves. My explanation of that or photographs of that will not suffice to explain what's going on in those storerooms. It was kilograms and kilograms of exhibits lying on top of one another and roof height.
How would they be sorted? I mean, so it's all in one room, first of all?
All in one room. Different bags with the tags on them, as I can explain. I don't know how they would know to go to the back of this facility to retrieve certain items. It's like a puzzle. I don't know how they do it.
So you would walk in, and is it on shelves, or is it?
Shelves are fully packed. It's now laying on the ground, and they literally walking on top of the bags to get to the bags at the backside of this facility.
And is it a secure room?
Yeah. There's serious strong room doors in front, and you have to sign as soon as you step if you put your foot into that place, you sign a register to say that you were in there.
Are there cameras outside the door?
I saw cameras. If they're working, I cannot answer.
So that would have presumably been part of the investigation by the anti-corruption section head?
I think so, yes. Or ought to be.
And have you ever been able to do any follow-up on that investigation by the anti-corruption office? Is this an office within DPCI, by the way, the anti-corruption office?
That is correct. Anti-corruption, serious anti-corruption is one of the legs, if I can explain it like that the DPCI is built on.
The call that was made, you say, to the DPCI head office of anti-corruption, was that made in February 2025?
That's correct,
to investigate?
Yes. I actually overheard, in the meeting we had at Forensics, I overheard the call that General Kadwa made to, I understand he's no longer in the police, it was General John Matroos, who was heading up that section within the DPCI, and I know that the call was made to General John Matroos.
So it's now well over a year later. What update have you had on that investigation and the status of the investigation?
I do not have the full status of the investigation, but I'm aware that in last week they took a statement from Warrant Officer Morris, excuse me, and I was approached on Friday, past Friday, to tender a statement from my side on, actually one of the questions that they ask is why was the recount done from our side, but it's explained in my statement. So I said to them that I will deal with it in this week only after I've been, after I finalized my testimony at this commission.
Advocate Hasim, did we establish what the street value of the 136 kg missing is? I can't remember if we did.
It would
Times
400,000.
Times?
I don't want to take out my phone, Commissioner, and my mathematical skills are good, but not that good.
55 million.
Around 55 million.
Yeah, around there, Commissioner.
Okay. Advocate, Commissioner Baloyi laughed at us last week because we got our maths wrong. So we don't want to attempt that again.
And if this had now entered, if this now had entered the market, if it was now on the streets, these drugs, would you have been able to pick it up in any way?
I don't think so. Reason being, I do not know if it was removed in those blocks where we found it in, because that would be the only way to identify it. But I believe that after the analysis, it was no longer in that block form that we seized it in. So it is, cocaine is a white powder. The end product is a white powder. So it will be very difficult to identify that on the street per se, Commissioners.
So there's another incident that happens in February 2025 at around this time that these drugs go missing. There's a media publication, and if I could just ask you to have a look at that in the exhibit bundle. It's at CJC 217. Page 109 of the bundle. And it's dated 22 February 2025. And the title of this media report is Crime Intelligence Battle, Key Witnesses in Feroz Khan Disciplinary to Face Drug Charges. Right? The report discusses what happened at the Eriton scene and the 4 suspects that were arrested. And it, in quite a lot of detail, including photographs from the scene, including the similar photographs to the ones you've showed to the commission. But it says more. And if you look at page 115, of that report. Okay. Now, if you look at, for example, from the second paragraph of that report, of this media article, it says the report reveals Nku and Mashaba were in direct communication with an East Rand businessman who appears to have been the middleman between a drug operation in Brazil and local operations. It then goes on to talk about chats from encrypted messaging services that reveal that Nku was talking about certain employees at the Durban port that were, in inverted commas, our guys. It refers to the businessmen who went by a particular alias. And you'll see also, as you scroll down, that this media article has the actual messages that were shared, that were obtained by internal Hawks investigators. It has evidence from the cell phone analyst, and it concludes, it opines that the emergence of this evidence is likely to prove crucial to Khan's survival in the disciplinary round, and then it continues to talk about Khan's troubles, and it's actually a very pro-Khan article. It's a very favorable article. And all of this evidence that it leaks, essentially, comes from an internal report that I think you're familiar with. Can you confirm whether you know about these WhatsApp messages and the evidence regarding Nku and the Durban businessman?
Not this specific, I cannot recall the specific WhatsApp messages that's published here. And I do not know where would they have gotten this. I know there was analysis done, by our PCMC, the Provincial Crime Management Center, which also forms part of the DPCI. But to where this comes from, and I haven't seen this prior to today.
Have you not seen a presentation that provides an analysis of the evidence this?
Not of this specific, but I've seen part of a presentation by the PCMC, yes.
What is the risk of it, this kind of leak to an investigation?
The risk of it is plain and simple to the fact that at the end of the day, if these type of things are published, it makes it easier for the criminals to see what we're looking at and how we do our investigations. And that would hamper further and future investigations into this type of syndicates.
Thank you, Colonel. And then I said I would come back to the Gerber report.
Sorry,
you were going to continue. Please go ahead.
Sorry, if you would allow me just to take you to page 109 of that same, the first page of that article. You will see that photograph of the black bakkie with the black bags on top of it. Also in front of it, that is not captured in Warrant Officer Wood's sketch of the scene, you would see a marked police vehicle parked right in front of it. To the left of the police vehicle is that red Kia that is in her statement, in her drawing. But the police vehicle by then has been removed. So I just wanted to highlight that I just saw now.
Yes, thank you for bringing this to our attention, because Wood's sketch was only done at a particular point in the day, and was much later in the day.
Yeah, here the sun is still shining.
Here the sun is still shining, exactly.
Indeed, correct, Commissioner.
Colonel, this open back bakkie, is this the black bakkie that is referred to?
That would be correct, Commissioner.
So Mashaba and them would have transported the drugs open in this way, if they had had their way?
That looks like that, Commissioner, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And without protection?
I cannot answer to that, ma'am.
Yes.
I do not know what their plans were at that stage.
Thank you.
And just remind us, the police van is the one that prevented the black Nissan bakkie from leaving the warehouse.
This is what I found when I came on the scene and I asked what's going on here, and it was explained to me that that black bakkie apparently wanted to leave, so it was blocked in by a Boyson's police van.
Yes.
Yes, Commissioner.
Going back to the FSL, the drugs that cannot be accounted for, the one, I think it's 136 kilograms
Commissioner.
that cannot be accounted for. Do you know if FSL has conducted its own investigation of what happened, because this was in their custody?
I'm not sure. I think Brigadier Allen can attest to that, Commissioner. I will not be able to comment on that.
And you haven't seen any FSL records that account for who handled these drugs at different stages until the amount of 751 has reduced to the 579? You haven't seen any records of that?
The only records I could see was the 212 statements by the analyst of people handling the drugs, Commissioner. Apart from the 212 statements where the people's names appear that did the analysis, I'm not able to give any other names.
Okay, thank you.